Uh, it's been very good to me in many ways. Taught me a lot of things. I've been good, real good, yeah. Self compassion is one thing that I'm like really practicing these days. Um, Not to be such a critique on yourself, and not so hard on yourself, because that's I think a lot of people during that time um, were doing, and they really reflected on that. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, but in reality, it's the reality of things. It puts a stall. There's a lot of fatigue involved, and as human beings, it's the human experience that we don't necessarily um, understand, because we're all every day, like tomorrow's going to be new. So all the information that you're going to get today is going to change tomorrow. So it's all exhausting for everybody. I was in a point where it's like, oh, I don't need it. I have so much information I know. You know what I mean? So you don't really necessarily have this ability to learn more, which is like you can't go to your mentors, you can't go to your mom and dad, you can't go to your brothers and sisters. They don't have the information for you. So the next best person to go to is professional. And so you seek that. Once you get that professional help, it's a switch. Like it teaches you a lot about yourself and who you are, and acknowledging that there's trauma, acknowledging that you're human, and everything that you experience isn't necessarily you, but just the environment that you're in. And then applying those things, and just kind of practicing it, rather than let putting it off, or excusing it, or um, leaving it to tomorrow. I went to therapy because I'm like, I'm going to probably need this. So I'm going to equip myself with more information down the road. I know I don't necessarily fully need it, but I'm going to use it in preparation. Kind of like if you were to prepare, game tape for basketball or whatever, you know what I mean? So you look at you look at the tape, you see how the game is played, but at the same time, you need to kind of speak to the coach. You need to talk to the scouting reports, or you need to speak to somebody who's writing that scouting report, and they need to feed you with things that you don't necessarily see. So what I've learned from like expectations is that sometimes we don't always have to buy what our mind is selling us. That is like a complete and false narrative, that we think about certain things, we have these thought processes, and we have to necessarily, like, we have to buy into that thought. But we don't always have to buy into our minds. We can pick and choose. That's not a right thought. That's let's go visit that with your therapist, or let's go visit that with somebody who's a part of your council, or somebody who can guide you. But for the most part, yeah, that's like a prompt for me was, everything that I'm kind of thinking is, I don't have to listen to myself all the time. What you're looking at getting or seeking counsel for. So if it's like career advice, the mindset is really like, is it serving you? If you're looking for relationship advice, then you're going to go to the person that has the best relationship in your opinion. But at the same time, it's really just kind of pick and choose, like life is really like an a la carte kind of thing. You can't really just like, it's not, built or custom made like all in one shot. You just got to pick things off the shelf and put it on your tray, and just like, oh, I like that. You go back to eat, you eat it, you're like, oh, I didn't like that this time. I'm going to go get another dish, and then you're going to try it out. You're like, okay, well, this meal right here I've built is the meal that I know that is dope for me, so I'm going to stick to it. But um where was I going with this? I mindset is, it's I don't know, it depends. Mindset is always it depends on where you're at, and what kind of mindset you need to be in. It's not all the same. You got to have your game face on certain occasions, and then you got to relax on certain occasions. It's not always the same thing. It's all different. It's you got to see the game. You got to play it out. You got to see how the cards are dealt, and then you kind of react from that. I live by like this rule, the 90-10 rule. So I can only react to 10% of life, which is a fair number, 90%. And then 10% is how I react to that. I can't really control much. So I can only control my output and just everything around me. And that's kind of like mindset will adjust to what is given to me. People are saying you're good at it or like, oh, you should do this, you should try this. But then it's like the validation that I get from human beings is enough. I don't need the masses. I don't need, a record label. I don't need to make a school team, because just that validation right there was enough for me. And that's what's like put me in a position that sucks as an adult, because I'm like, yo, like I have like the validation. What more do I need to do? And that's the stuff that really like stunts a lot of people's growth. Personally, for me, that's how I've stunted my growth a lot. Was, oh, I got the comment, I got the validation, cool, that's all I needed. I don't need to see it any further. And that's 15-year-old Chris. And it's like, fuck him, like he should have done more. He should have like took that information, that comment, that suggestion, and then ran with it. But he didn't, because fear. My mom would always say, like, oh, anak, you should be an actor. Or she'd be like, oh, anak, you should go to the Philippines and you should sing. But I never did it or never wanted to do it, because it's just, I wasn't guided. Like, I didn't have that guidance. If I had me now telling my 15-year-old self all this information, I would definitely spit game to him for sure. I would lead him to the promised land as long as he's willing to work. But the thing is that maybe I wasn't ready to work then. Maybe I'm ready to work now. Is it too late? I don't know. That's the thing. So it's like, it's all just, it's that time, like I was just angry at that younger self. So yeah, 15-year-old Chris, I would tell him, fuck you. If I need to reach anybody's expectations, I used to think it was my parents. No, not really. It's really just now me. Who do I have to impress? It's me. Who do I have to battle every day? It's me. Like, there's nobody else in this game but me. And everyone should look at it that way. It's like it's the man in the mirror, like that's the person that you have to go at every day. It's not, the people in your industry. It's not the people that's doing the same thing as you. It's not the person that's trying to get your next opportunity. It really is just you. And then once you just figure out that it's just you, then everything is residual. It's just gonna come. It's crazy what thoughts can bring. It's like thoughts can build a civilization. Thoughts can build the iPhone. Thoughts can build a brand. Thoughts can build a relationship. And we all live with them. And it's crazy because like if they don't come out, they just end up in the dirt. They just end up in the cemetery, and you'll never know. There's a lot of inventions that are in the cemetery. There's a lot of great ideas that probably never like came to fruition. And it's like so unfair that people don't have the capacity to equip themselves with people in their circle that can communicate this way. And it's very important. If you do not have it, like at least try, like seek it, like get down. It's so hard for people to like take that surface level and go dig. It sucks. But hey, look, it takes a village to run this thing. And there are people like you guys who are very open to the idea of thought, that it makes for a great and safe place for people to want to, seek those ideas. And I think that's very important. If you're a beacon of thought, if you're a beacon of like someone who can, or a symbol of just like a place where people can filter it with support, that's very rare, and it's very nice to have.